Good evening, Uganda. For his constituency of the underclass and the ordinary man, FDC flag bearer Dr. Kizza Besigye's raw passion and his unvarnished message continues to gain traction. Only yesterday, Besigye proved those claiming his halo had slipped when he marshaled huge crowds, crammed inside Nakivo Stadium, and others who could not fit stayed outside. Beyond his stronghold in Kampala, can Besigye transform these masses into votes and win the 2016 polls? On the spotlight is the opposition doyen, Dr. Kizza Besigye. But before I introduce Dr. Besigye and even greet him, let me take you back to the streets of Kampala yesterday and just show you the sheer numbers of his supporters, the passion and the commitment they had to walk that journey from Nambole to Nakivubo. That was like a mega rock star. Dr. Besigye, welcome to the show. Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much, Patrick, and good evening, and very good evening to all the listeners, or to the listeners and viewers of this program. Yes, it was quite something. I must.
You rocked. You rocked last night. Yesterday, you did.
It was quite something. I tell you, it was very emotional seeing all those people, young and old. You know, all types of people. Marching with that energy. And encouraging us to go on. It was a very emotional, and I must use this opportunity to thank, our people out there. Unfortunately, most no longer watch TV since the digital era.
There's a way how they watch this program, by the way.
I am not sure. Wherever I go, actually, this is a major issue. People say we were switched off. We can no longer see what is going on. But I would like to thank all the people, who made it, who braved the long journey, who, kept on giving us all kinds of messages of encouragement, who gave me a lot of gifts, including money and all kinds of...
You have started on the issue of the money. I wasn't planning to start on that. How much money did you collect yesterday?
Well, I had actually almost a sack of money, but this is from...
You still have a sack of money somewhere?
This is from these ordinary, impoverished people, and that's the greatest, symbol that I get in all this, because these people clearly, hard up. But in their troubles,
they're giving their all.
Yes.
Do you have a mechanism?
Somebody pulls out 1,000 shillings. It's a lot. It means a lot. Somebody gives 100 shillings. Somebody gives 500 shillings. 2,000. And so, yes, it took quite a bit of time to count, to unfold the folded 1,000 notes and so on. But yes, at the end of the count, the money that we collected from on the way, because we never had time to receive money in Nakivubo itself. We arrived quite late and we couldn't engage in
Are
that.
you intending to make a formal fundraising drive? Now, Ugandans have shown, those are your supporters, that they want to give you money.
Yes, and this is the the most I think indicative thing of something new that is happening in our country, because politicians have always been known in elections to go out with money, to flash money to voters. To see that this is a reverse in this campaign, that people in their desperate situations bring money and they give you money and say, fight for us. Fight for us, we are together in this, That message is so touching that our people now know that it is them to liberate themselves. That says a lot. So along the way, yesterday, we collected, and if it had been possible, because you see, we were also taking care of security, so we had a ring that was walking alongside the car, so it was not easy exactly for people to get through our own security ring and reach me to give me anything. But we collected 2,790,000 shillings. Also $320 US, and some other currencies also in smaller quantities. Yeah, so it's not the amount; it's just the mere act that people now recognize our campaign as their campaign, and that we are in this together, and they are willing to join in any form or manner. They were just simply saying, tell us what to do. That is all we need.
Okay, but this is what you told them, Dr. Besigye, and let's get to it now. You said this election, you're going to win it not by compliance, but by defiance. You're telling that Ugandans must take back their country in a way as if you're calling for an uprising. But let me ask you, are you calling for an uprising?
No, first of all, let me tell you, I saw your intro, you were saying, these crowds, are they going to turn into votes to make this, my candidature win? That is the question that gives you the answer to what you've asked. We have always won. The crowds have been there and they have cast their votes. It's not a problem of casting the votes. It's not a problem of how many people support our campaigns. But as long as you don't have an election that is free and fair, then, the votes mean nothing. You can have, if you have people coming with tons of pre-ticked ballot papers.
Yes, but Dr. Besigye, that's why I'm picking on the new message you are advancing nowadays.
Yes.
That you're going to win by defiance and not compliance.
Yes.
Exactly what do you mean?
Yes, so what the problem has not been winning. We have been winning.
That is understood from my
point of view. The problem that we need to unlock, the problem that we need to solve is for the people who have and exercise power in this country to recognize these votes and their win and to respect them. And this is not going to happen simply because people have come and voted. And that's why, I've been telling even my colleagues who are in this election that don't be deceived that, we will go to an election and people come and cast their vote and, the Electoral Commission, as it calls itself, now they even add independent, and that they count these votes and declare you a winner and then give you power. It won't happen. Because, you see, even those who say that we are in a multi-party dispensation, it's a lie. There is no multi-party dispensation. What we have is a very pure and straightforward... I think
you have been very explicit, sir, but I just want to know, if it doesn't happen, then how do you do it? By defiance?
Yes.
Exactly.
And the defiance, maybe it would help our viewers to also know that there are two types of defiant actions. One is violent and another is non-violent. We used a violent defiance to get NRM into power. That was defiance. We defied the regime that was there, that had declared itself a winner of an election. We said, no, we don't recognize your election. We don't recognize your win. We challenge it. And we challenged it with violence. The violence that brought Mr. Museveni to power.
It's no wonder violence it begets violence.
Yes.
This is what you brought.
Entirely.
This is what you brought.
Absolutely. And that is why we now advocate not violent defiance, but non-violent defiance. And this is a deliberate strategy that we have adopted, that we will defy the dictatorship, not with violence, but with non-violence. And non-violent defiance is an extremely potent tool in the hands of the population. If the population say no, and they don't even have to employ any violence. For example, if the population in this country said, we are not going to send food to Kampala tomorrow, no food, we are not taking any food in the market, how will Museveni's tanks and tear gas vehicles and so on get food to the people in the market?
But you know what? It's my child, and it's their children who will starve.
Yes.
And if they died, you will be culpable as well.
No, people can choose to go back to the village, of course, for the time that there is no food in the market, because everybody in Kampala has some place they can go to. Even when there was war here, people went back to the villages. But where would the regime be? The regime would not be there. You know, so people can use methods that defy the regime, that are non-violent, but that show the power belongs to them and not to the regime. There is, you know, the regime functions because we obeyed, because what they order happens. If what they order we say no, we are not taking it, the
so
regime
you want to try something like Mahatma Gandhi's...
Yes, the regime is gone, and that is so. But we apply it in different measures and different contexts. We are now going to apply it in this election. And this is how it is going to work. First of all, you see, defiance entails people knowing that they are actually oppressed. That realization must first come. Some of our people simply don't know why they are in the situation in which they are. So the first action in this campaign is to get everybody to understand that though this is your country, actually you have no power in it.
In 2011, Dr. Besigye, you promised to change tact and ensure that you protect your vote so that you are not rigged. In fact, you also promised an independent sort of tally center. And the whole campaign was about protecting your vote. We have been there before. Here, what you're talking about, you talked about it 2011.
No. And this is where the difference is. Because indeed...
I was with you in Simbi as a reporter.
Yes.
You're saying this time around we're going to protect.
Yes.
And that's what you're repeating now. You failed to protect your vote in 2011.
Yeah, you see, first of all, you haven't picked what I was saying a little while earlier. It's not now my vote. And that's fundamentally different. I am not seeking for, you see, in 2011, I was actually seeking for a vote and power from the people. I have since recognized that actually these people simply have no power or vote to give me. They don't have it. They have no votes. The population has no vote. A vote is one that counts. So clearly we were, flogging a dead horse. What we need to do, first and foremost, and this is the core in this campaign, is that I and the people work together to get a vote, to get power first. Because these voters cannot give me power which they don't have. We must first struggle together. And so, you see, whereas I was saying, give me a vote, I will protect it. Clearly, I was applying myself wrongly, because that meant that they will come, that it's me who will take the power back actually alone in protecting that vote. It can't happen.
You now sound like Dr. Laro Tunu in 2011, taking the country back to the people. That's what he was saying. That's how you sound like. But let me ask you now.
That is something.
And he didn't do well anyway.
Yes.
With that kind of message.
It
is exactly what he advanced in 2011.
Well, I hope he has not left. Because you see, again, you know, one of the serious misfortunes our country has is that we have an elite class that does not, you know, examine our situations critically and apply themselves. Because, you know, some people say, of course they realize the conundrum in which we are. The fact that we have a dictatorship is not one that you will find a lot of argument on. I'm sure anybody who shares information in the town here knows that we have a regime that is not really accountable to the people. But when you ask them, you know, like you're asking me, when you say this is how we are going to get rid of it, they say that will not work. You say, okay, fine, it will not work. Tell me what will work. Or they say, you tried this and failed, you tried this and failed. Say, fine, I tried that and failed, and I tried the other one and failed. What have you tried, sir? Or why don't you come up and try something that works? You see, you only fail when you stop trying. And I am not going to be part of those that give up. To say, I tried this, it failed, now it means it cannot happen. No. As long as the problem is still there, I will try everything to get rid of the problem.
Just like the Senegalese former President Abdoulaye Wade had to try 7 times.
Yes. And
so you are ready, you can even go 7 times like Abdoulaye Wade.
The problem is not how many times I go, the problem is whether the problem has gone. And if anybody thinks that he has a better way of getting rid of the problem, step up. Step up and tell us and act and show how you will do it. Now, first of all, don't think that even when you have the right approach, that by having a right approach itself makes you successful. When we were fighting in the bush, there were many other bush actors who were even in the bush before Mr. Museveni went to the bush. They didn't win the war, though they were applying the same method. So it takes more than just choosing the right method of how to deal with the problem. You must also apply yourself appropriately in that right way to get the solution. So please realize that many people who engage in wars against other countries fail, but others succeed.
Okay,
in fact, in the use of non-violent defiance, there is far greater success than failure as compared to any other means of getting rid of a dictatorship like we have. So this is why I am going to spend this campaign, first of all, getting our citizens to understand where we are, what kind of problem we have, getting them to understand how to organize themselves to defy the regime.
Okay.
And to...
Dr. Besigye, hold on to your point. We're going to take a break. When you come back, I just want to ask, some of your former operators have now joined you, have converted. We have seen the former Saul turning into Paul. The case of Sejusa, is he really a changed man? We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amara. My guest tonight is the FDC flag bearer, retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye. We have seen, Doctor, those who have oppressed you in the past, who have now gone to their Damascus turnaround and they have turned into Paul. The case of General David Sejusa. if I may, the only consistent thing with him is his inconsistency. Do you really welcome them with open hands and think they are not going to change again?
Well, I think your characterization of him is maybe a little extreme. Quite obviously, he has changed sides. At some stage, he was challenging the regime, and then he rejoined the regime. And now he has opposed the regime. I don't think he has supported it again. And I think he would be the best person indeed to explain why he rejoined the regime he had challenged earlier. But you see, let me tell you, we have defined what our struggle is. Our struggle simply is a struggle between captors and captives. Those who have captured power in this country and those whose power has been captured. This is the struggle that is there. The ones who say they have captured power enjoy all the power, use it for their good, while the rest of the people are marginalized and living in intolerable conditions. So the struggle is between these two. We are simply actors in that struggle. We are not the owners of the struggle. We are not the struggle. We are not the struggle. With or without us, that struggle will continue. This must be very clearly understood. Even if I was, a vehicle went under a bus as I walk out of here and it's the end of me, that struggle will continue. We are not the struggle. The struggle is the struggle against injustice. As long as there is injustice, the people who are oppressed will fight for justice. Now, those who identify with that struggle, whenever they do, are allies of the struggle. So, even for one day, if you come and you want to add on something onto that struggle, you are an ally of that struggle that day. If tomorrow you change your mind and go away, well and good, you've already, so good that you've already contributed one day. If you come back after 3 days and you want to contribute more, that's well and good. The struggle continues.
But let me ask you, Dr. Besigye, with all respect, all of you who are now the big contenders, and this is what I think, are the former Luwero boys who went into the bush to fight a dictatorship. I mean, President Yoweri Museveni was your commander. You are his personal doctor. I'm told that Mama Babas was the blue-eyed boy. General Biraro was the foot soldier. All of you are still so much interested in power, as if you drank from a poisoned well somewhere that has given you this hunger for power.
Well, yes. You see, I pointed out to you that without power in a country, you are nothing. The only difference is, at least for me, is that we are seeking for power not to reside in a person. We are seeking for power to reside in the citizens of this country, the owners of this country. That is our struggle. That is certainly my struggle. And this is what I believed we were struggling for in Luwero. As soon as I realized that some people had changed goalposts and had now hijacked the power that we thought would have been popularized, I opposed it. And I will continue to oppose that. So yes, we are struggling for power. I don't want to live in a country where, I walk out of this room and find some mean guy at the door and he says, I've arrested you now, takes me, clobbers me, puts me in jail for as long as he wants or kills me. That's not a country I want to live in. I want to live in a country where I have and exercise power as a citizen. Not exercise power at the expense of others. So yes, we are struggling for power, but whose power and how it is that how that power is exercised. As long as the citizens of this country, and I being one of such citizens, have no power, we will continue to struggle. And I would like to reach a position whereby once people have appreciated their power and how to get it, that any usurper, whether it is me or any other person or you, Patrick, that you usurp people's power, that they have the capacity to say, no way, we are not going to let you get away with this. That is what we are struggling for. So, as I was pointing out, any citizen of this country who contributes to that struggle is, to my mind, my ally, as and when they do so. But even myself, who has been struggling, as you say, for so long, if I now started acting against what I am fighting for, then those people who are oppressed will turn against me, and you've seen it. You've seen people here whom we were with in the struggle, but who for some reasons change their minds and get lost. People abandon them and continue struggling for their rights. So people don't get confused and think that people are actually supporting me as a person. No. They are supporting the cause which I am projecting.
Okay, let us change gears here. You held several meetings with the former Premier Mama Mbabazi on a possible way of fronting a single candidate. You met here in Kampala, in Nakuru. You met in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, and I'm also told you met in London. Why was there a stalemate, Dr. Besigye?
Well, the stalemate was on who leads this campaign. And I have talked about it. We had different views as to who should lead this campaign. My views and their views did not coincide, or our views, because I am not just my own candidate. I am the candidate of Forum for Democratic Change. And the views of our party as to who should lead this campaign did not coincide with the views of the Honorable Mama Mbabazi. And so we have moved on to have two campaigns. I truly hope that our objective remains the same, which is to end the dictatorship in this country. Because even on that, there was not complete convergence as to what the problem is, among other things. But as long as all our target is the dictatorship, then we are allies in the struggle.
You can be allies in the struggle at the top. I want you to tell us how that is going to happen at the grassroots if your supporters meet, if they don't clash. Because at one point you're going to support, let's say, a member of parliament representing maybe Kitgum municipality. Yeah, but and Mama Mbabazi will support another person. Yeah, but that is likely to cause you trouble. And you will potentially be rivals. And you are rivals.
No, but this is not the first time it is happening. In every election that I have been involved in, all the political parties registered, the main political parties registered in this country had candidates, including the very last one. In the last election, as you know, the Honorable Norbert Mao was a candidate of DP. The Honorable Larotun was a candidate of UPC. There was Jabir Bidandisali, who was a candidate of PPP. There was Honorable Betty Kamya, a candidate of UFA. But we didn't go throwing stones at each other. You know, each one charted his campaign and persuaded the people to support his or her policies or her ideas or their ideas. So the fact that we are not in a unified campaign does not make it does not make us, hostile to each other at all. And I have, at least on my part, said, and I will certainly insist, that all our, supporters, if they support me, then they must support my approach. And my approach is that our target in this election is only one: those who are marginalizing the people of Uganda, the dictatorship of NRM and Mr. Museveni. That is our target. No other target.
This last weekend, I had an opportunity to travel into Western Uganda. Dr. Besigye, I was in Kivale, I was in Kyenjojo, I was in Kabarole, I was in Bundubuju, Ntoroko, and the fringes of Kiruhura. I tried it to ask about, the opposition. And really, in most of those places, you don't hear about them.
In which areas?
In areas I've mentioned about. And I'm wondering if you can get all this kind of support in Kampala and in rural Uganda, where most of the people are. Dr. Besigye,
no, you see, again,
isn't going to be the same.
You see, again, you are lapsing into the misconception that we have a multi-party system and that we have functional parties that are contesting. NRM
your
is
president,
NRM,
your president of FDC,
yes.
General Muntu, has been saying that he's been building structures up to the grassroots.
Yes, and I will talk about it. NRM is not a political party. NRM is simply the state. The state is everywhere, without doubt, because the RDCs are in every district. We pay them to be there. They are supposed to be public servants. Of course, they are not. You have security officials who are supposed to be public officers, not partisan officers, but as you know, they are not. You saw policemen voting in the NRM primaries, in uniform. So this is the state of the country, that we have, we don't have a multi-party dispensation. This is why I am very clear in defining where the boundaries are. The boundaries are those who are marginalized and those who are marginalizing us.
Yes, but you also
those are the boundaries.
You must
and
also
wherever,
have some organizational capabilities
and wherever you
that
go,
goes up to the grassroots, Dr. Besigye.
Granted, and wherever you go, because in 2001, when I was first a candidate, I did not have a political party at all. There were no political parties allowed. Did we have a campaign or we didn't? Did we win that election? Actually, yes, we did. And, we went to court and challenged the outcome and so on. We did not have any political formation, or recognizable political formation. So what I'm saying is this, that every dictatorship invests heavily to make sure that there is no organization against the dictatorship. That's why even assembly is made so difficult for people just to come together to exchange views. You must get, if you are meeting so many, you must get permission from the Inspector General of Police. So let's not talk about, I did not find an open office in Kivale or FDC or whatever. No. The right question would be whether there are people who are completely disgusted with what is going on in Kivale, who can't, see their children through school, who have nowhere to turn when they are ill, who know they have no government that cares about them. They are everywhere. These people you saw yesterday, I don't know which political party card, card they have. Many of them maybe have never had any political party card. They simply are saying we are fed up of this kind of situation where we live in this country as beggars as, subjects of some people. We are fed up. That's what they are demonstrating against. And those people are everywhere, I tell you. You are going to be seeing wherever we go in this campaign. I've just been to Bunyoro, where you are talking about in the primary elections we had. I don't know whether you saw what happened in Hoima, when we were in Hoima, where we held our rally in Bunyoro. That time we didn't have time to go to Kivale. And you see the kind of energy and determination that this must change. It is the same as what you saw here yesterday. Everywhere in this country, including Kiruhura. The people in Kiruhura, sometimes people think in Kiruhura actually, there is a lot of discontent. That's why in Kiruhura, people are never allowed to vote by secret ballot.
What do you mean?
In Kiruhura, if you go to vote at all, you must vote on the table. Because they don't want the president who comes from there to be embarrassed. If people voted by secret ballot, you would hear, very embarrassing situations coming from there. So either they vote for you, or if you come, you must vote on the table. We send agents there, they are arrested, promptly they arrive. We have never had agents, in any of those polling stations. This is what we are dealing with. And this is why the campaign that we are talking about, a campaign of defiance, must be the way forward.
Hold on to your point, Dr. Besigye. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'll open the line so that you at home can maybe ask a question or add a comment to Dr. Besigye's strategy. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amara. My guest tonight is retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, the presidential candidate for FDC, who is now this time around wants to give power to the people so that they can take back that power and maybe take him to State House in Tebe 2016 February. But when you get there, what do you want to do for Uganda, Dr. Besigye?
Well, two main things, as I have pointed out already to the people. The first thing that this country really needs is restructuring the state that I have just been describing, where power is in a few hands, and therefore where institutions of the state are modeled to serve those few with the power. We don't have institutions that are popular institutions. We have institutions of the dictatorship, of the dictator. We must restructure that state. And therefore, we will have a period for that restructuring, which includes constitutional reform. And part of that constitutional reform, indeed, will have to deal with the long pending problem of the concentration of power at the center. We would like to see, indeed, as has been recommended by the greatest majority of our people, that power is dispersed, that power is not concentrated in Kampala, that you have regional power, you have power elsewhere. So we'll need to restructure the state. And this is why we advocate for a government of national unity once we take power. We need everybody to participate in that project of restructuring the state. We want everybody on the table, including NRM. They should be on the table. We should be all together as citizens restructuring the state. Now, while that is going on, and certainly beyond that, we have to deal with solving the most urgent problems of our people to improve their lives. In other words, transforming the conditions in which our people live by addressing the economy, by addressing, the social services. And we have a very clear plan to do this. We believe that this country can be changed very quickly because we are not a poor country. Our people are not people that don't work, contrary to some people, how they have characterized them. We have hard-working people. who are the people that generate the taxes that are abused by the regime. So among other things, we want in the new era to have the wealth and resources of our country serving the people who will now be empowered anyway to ensure that they are served. The resources must be directed to the people. Today, the greatest majority of the greatest portion of our resources are directed to securing the regime survival. That must change. Resources must be directed to people's survival. And so, as you realize, when we unfold, and which we have been doing in the last campaigns, our manifesto, we are talking about narrowing the government. We want a small government, and therefore to cut drastically the cost of public administration.
That again will concentrate power in the hands of very few people. Is that what you're going to do now?
Yes, but power,
which
the concentration...
you seem to be against now.
No, the concentration of power in a few people does not mean... All these people in government have no power, even those who are there now. The advisors of the president, even the ministers. Power is not about the size of government, no. Power is about who makes the decisions, So we can have institutions that are lean, but are efficient. And in fact, leanness goes with increased efficiency.
Okay, let us involve...
So we want to shift resources to where the people are. Invest in things that actually touch on people's lives.
Okay, Dr. Besigye.
Invest in agriculture, which has been neglected. Invest in the social service,
education. I think you've been
explicit
on that. Let me open the lines, because there are many Ugandans who are calling right now. Quite a number of people who want to get in touch with you, ask you questions, or even maybe tell you what they want to say. Let me take the very first caller online. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is David Okodi.
Sorry?
David Okodi.
Okodi, yes, go right ahead, sir. Oh, no. Okay, let me take another call online. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Levi Eyaru.
Eyau.
Levi Eyaru.
Okay, sir, you're on air.
Just a question.
A question?
This is Levi Eyaru. I'm calling from Wakiso.
Wakiso, you're on air, sir.
I have a question for Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
In 2011, after election, he said he was going to have his own tally center, and that he would announce his own results in 2 weeks. What happened to the results? Secondly, Honorable Betty Kamia, sometime a few years ago, said when she was leaving FDC, she said that Dr. Besigye was worse than Museveni, that they were fighting that time. Does that explain the reason why she's not supporting you election? And thirdly, if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard yesterday in his manifesto that he was going to provide laptops to students. It is one thing to promise, but it's another thing
to deliver.
To do the deliver,
Okay, thank you very much. Your questions, I think, have been heard, and Dr. Besigye will be responding to them shortly, but let me take maybe 3 more so that you can take them at once. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Katojiradi from Kireka.
From Kireka?
Hey.
You're on air. Oh, sorry about that. Let me take another call online. Hello?
Hello. I'm Kabuo from Kasanja. I would like to tell that president that he should go ahead with that.
All right.
We thank him and we love him so much. Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't get her name.
Well, at least somebody who supports you and wants you to go ahead. Is it to go forward or something? Something like that. Okay, let me take two more callers online. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Sabat Tamari from Tinda.
Habat Tamale in Tinda, you're on air.
Yeah.
Habat Tamale, you are listening to your cell phone TV, so you could not have a conversation.
Hello.
Let me take another caller. Yes, sir.
This is Mr. Alex calling from Ginger.
Alex in Ginger.
Yes.
You're on air.
I would like to ask you, Doctor, how are you going to manage the issue of radio stations outside Kampala? I'm aware you people, you are not going to get space on the radios outside Kampala to deliver the message to the local people. How are you going to manage that issue? Then the last point is, right now in my house, we have 3 votes. My vote is for you, Besigye. My wife is voting Mama Mbabazi. And our first son is voting. He has kept his secret. What advice do you have for us to make sure that with all the votes we have here goes to one camp?
Okay.
Didn't hear what he said.
A divided house. That appears he's voting for you, his wife is voting for her mama, and the son is not yet decided. So you need to work a lot to dazzle them to come to your side. What are you going to do? Let me take the last caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Patrick.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
You're on air.
Hello.
Okay. Unfortunately, we cannot have a conversation now. There's a problem, I suppose. So maybe since you had 3 questions from one person, you had kudos from a lady calling from somewhere, and then Alex and Ginger.
Yes, the first question, Levy, it's true, in the last election we set up a tele center, but again, as I pointed out a little earlier, I think we were misdirecting our effort, because indeed the tele center was raided the very first day after the elections, and it was disabled. We had actually tried to keep it unknown to the regime, but quite obviously, I think some of the people we are working with were infiltrators, so it was disabled anyway. And that is the whole question of not relying on what we can do. We must work together with you, Levy, and everybody else in making sure that the whole process is policed by ourselves. And we are going to be engaging now in widespread organization in the whole country, training of our people, not just about protecting the votes at the polling station, but actually in this whole strategy of winning by defiance. We shall be coming to you. Now, on the question of why maybe Honorable Betty Kamya is not supporting our campaign and talking about what she said previously, that is the whole purpose of our struggle. You know, the whole purpose of this struggle and why we are ready to die in this struggle is so that people have the freedom to differ from what we are saying. That's the freedom we are fighting for. So it is, a pleasure for me if somebody supports me willfully, as much as when he differs and expresses his difference. So I completely respect the Honorable Betty Kamya when she chooses to differ from what I am doing and to support whomever she wants to support. Regarding the promise to give laptops to our students, this is within the broad context of revolutionizing education in this country. We must, because we are dead if we don't. as a country. And we are already having, generation lost. Things are moving very fast elsewhere. Very soon we will be illiterate as a country. And so we must really move up, and it's not just the laptops, it's the whole ICT policy. We must invest heavily in the ICT policy and have, the infrastructure built, the infrastructure that will be, that will benefit those laptops. So yes, we will provide all our secondary school goers with laptops. And this is not something unachievable. Everything that I have proposed in the previous manifestos were at the beginning, treated with contempt by especially the regime, saying that how can that happen? In the last election, when we proposed that our senior citizens will be given, a stipend to live on, people said, that's ridiculous, how can that happen? But yes, I'm glad that now in some districts, some people, I went to Karamoja and found the, all the people in Karamoja happy that they receive something at the end of the month. And this is possible, if it can happen, if some few things can be done when, all this money is being stolen and wasted, what much more can we do when our money is properly applied? So yes, we shall invest in education, not just the laptops. We must pay the teachers. We must have the infrastructure. We must change the curriculum. There are many things that we must do in education. Now, regarding Alex, who talked also about radios outside.
You not utilize them fully.
Kampala. You see, there is a challenge of access to media, actually. I'm sure Alex, who comes from Jinja, knows that in the just concluded primary elections that we had, when I went to Jinja, I was hosted on a radio called Baba FM. And just 5 minutes into the program, the owner of the station, who happens to be a member of parliament, the Honorable Balieku, called and directed the radio station to be switched off. And the radio station was switched off 5 minutes into the program, because they were hosting somebody who is from the opposition. Unfortunately, most of the upcountry radio stations are owned by people like Honorable Balieku. That is the unfortunate thing. All these ministers who are, the pot-bellied people in...
Okay, now, all right, Dr. Besigye.
So, we have a problem with radio stations up country.
All right, okay, the campaigns
now,
are
the
here.
divided house, Mr. Alex, again, as I have pointed out, it should not be a problem for you. It should be something for you to celebrate. The people you have in your house must enjoy their freedom to associate. And if you want them to support your candidate, persuade them. That's the purpose of having a free society. So I am glad that you have a house where there is vibrant political activity and people expressing themselves.
Okay, before we conclude, where are you going to start your campaign from to get that momentum, which you already have, that to move forward?
Really, our campaign is not about where we start in order to get momentum. As I'm sure you know, wherever we go in this country, we always have momentum, tremendous support. And I am grateful that indeed the people of Uganda have appreciated the struggle that we are engaged in. In the last elections, I have already started my campaigns in my home in Wakiso, in Kasangati. That's where I also started my campaigns in the last primary election that ended a few months ago. So I don't want to start my campaign in the home of Wakiso. I intend to start now my campaigns in my home in Rukunjiri. When you start at home, you also get the blessings of the ancestors who are lying
Rwakabengo,
down
Dr.
there.
Besigye is coming.
So Rukunjiri, yes, don't forget that a short while back we were trying to go there, and if we had succeeded, I wouldn't be going there now.
My producer is telling me that there are so many callers who are trying to maybe call and ask a question or give their comments. Let me just take 2 more if we can. Just only 2, and then we'll call it a wrap. Hello? Hello? Kale Sebo. Okay. Okay, let me take another call online.
Seems you have technical issues here.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
This is Mugabe calling from Jibale district.
I'm sorry?
This is Mugabe calling from Jibale district.
Kibale district, you're on the air.
Yes, I think Dr. Besigye should have no question to ask, or maybe the question is honored, but his way is clear for every Ugandan. Every Ugandan is seeing what is happening in the country. We need him everywhere in the country. We're waiting for him. We are behind him. Continue.
You're waiting for him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay, your concluding remark tonight.
Well, once again, really to thank the people of Uganda for the tremendous support and trust that they have vested in me. Because, you know, again, it's very humbling to see the level of the suffering of our people, yet that they are able to give me money to buy fuel, to do what they trust is their work. And I can assure you, the people of Uganda out there, I will not betray you. I will not. I will do whatever it takes to make sure that we live in a decent country where every citizen can walk with their heads high, where we can have equal opportunities, where our rights are respected by everybody, and where you know, our wealth is equitably shared, and where citizens indeed have power and dictate what happens in this country. This we will fight for, and I am, as I have said many times before, not going to turn back until this is realized.
Thank you.
So we are coming.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There you have heard him loud and clear. He's not going to retire, and he's not going to give up on fighting for the rights of Ugandans. That's your man, Dr. Kizza Besigye, the man with the gift of the gab from Rukunjiri, and he's going back to start from there with the momentum and the blessings of his ancestors. And this time around, he could be, who knows, the 4th time lucky. And but let me, from on the spot, say, do your campaigns, but please keep our country united and together, because this is the only country we have that we call home, and we call Uganda, and we call ours. We need it intact. Good night, and God bless Uganda. Thank you.
NTV, turning on your